Okay, hello and welcome. If anybody you were watching yesterday, you saw I cut all of the necessary components out to make the shell of the hat before I put it together. Now I have to dye it and all of that fun stuff. So, without further ado, let me get into dyeing. Oh, I need to change my Twitch stream information. You always forget something. Pete, kitty cat. Okay. Shit. It's always something, I tell you. I thought I had everything figured out. Alright. I like to wear gloves so I don't get dye all over my fingers. Okay, this blinking light's got not the ambiance I need right now. Speaking of ambiance, I need to turn my music back on. Hopefully, y'all can't hear that. Alright. We'll start on easy mode and dye the little guy first. Okay. Stuff I've dyed, I'll put over here to the left. Ouch, the way. And now my brush is a little too big to go in the hole. So I have to get me a container to pour the dye into, which hopefully this bottle I can pour out of better. Oh, no, it's still gonna run down the fucking side of the water. Okay, great. That's just great, but we came prepared. Wow, that just made a fucking mess. Right out the gate. Awesome. Alright, so I have the spray bottle because this has just been some bad leather. I need to teach it some manners. After I do that, I will proceed to dye it. The water helps the dye spread evenly through here so you get a nice even dye job and you don't have like blotches and patches. The underside is what takes most of the dye just because there's so many more grains and hairs that end up absorbing the dye. Let's see, here's the center. Yep, okay. So I will do the bottom side first, just so that when I flip it over, it can dry like this. Let me get this excess water off. We don't need excess water. I should have got a better fucking towel. That one's Got crusty bits all over it. Nobody likes crusty bits on their clean towels. Nice, even dye. Okay. I've got some at the top, but we can work quickly with this. See that dye spreading out from the water? It's excellent. That's what we want. We want it seeping in and spreading evenly to avoid little weird oopsies. I was a little weird oopsie, and look at me now. No one regulated my dye spread. Fuck that. There was a joke in there somewhere. Okay. And I need to pour more dye in the little container. I put saran wrap all over my table to protect the table. And it does a pretty good job, but damn do I hate using saran wrap. It's like throwaway plastic, and we already have enough microplastics in our balls and our drinking water and everything else. I feel like I'm just contributing to the problem, but what works better as a disposable throwaway tabletop than saran wrap? Alright, we'll go with this piece next. Let's try just spraying the bottom, then dyeing it, and then we'll flip over and dye the top after spraying it. Everything reminds me of her. Okay. Dampened skin. This takes quite a bit of dye. And I am going to have to saturate this quite a bit so that it dyes evenly. Fuck me. That took a lot of dye. Okay. We put lids back on things because that's how you make messes if you don't. Looks like some of the dye is just seeping through. But I guess that's okay. It's really going to be that color at the end of the day. And it probably won't take me much to dye the top. Well then. In the future, I think I'm going to buy pre-dyed leather so I can skip this step. What a pain in the ass having to use this much dye to get that even of a job. So this is coming out looking pretty nice. Nicely evenly dyed. I'm willing to bet it looks pretty good on the inside, too. Got to make sure to get our edges because they are also going to be visible. You're going to see damn near everything on this piece of leather. Live video block. Looks like your video may contain music, audio that belongs to someone else. Oh boy. Frickin' my microphone was picking up my music in the background, and Facebook was all having a little bitch fit about it because it could hear my music. I get copyright and all of that, but your music is not what is people going to be coming here for. Fuck off. Jesus. Tits. Okay. Well, that'll be covered by a hat band. Alright. Put you over here to dry. Let's see, how does that look? I like it needs a little bit more saturation. Dang, we may use almost all of this bottle. I see why people buy gallons of this shit. Now, one thing, while this is still wet, giggity, I'm going to try to form it a little. Because this has to fold down to sew into the inner rim. So it doesn't have to be as dramatic as the hat rim that I did last night, but it just needs to fold down some so that it has some real estate for the sewing machine to be able to grab a hold of it. You can't see it, but I've gone ahead of time and scored myself a little line just so I know where I'm folding and I'm not just doing this willy-nilly. Although I guess I kind of just decided to start making this hat all willy-nilly. I didn't do much research into making hats. I just looked at my hat and was like, huh, I know how to do all the techniques that are involved with making this hat. And here we are. Now, the main thing, we just want to make sure that it's even and nice and round. It's strange saying all of my inside thoughts out loud for the camera. Normally, I just keep these thoughts to myself and no one will know how crazy I am. But here we are. Okay, that is good enough. Now, the part that's probably going to take most the rest of my dye. I need to turn my fan on these lights, making it warm and diffuse. All right, looks like we got some little splatters, some oopsies, but hopefully we can do away with that. And I got to did a pretty good job wet forming that rim. See that? That folds over so nice. You just pop that wire in there and it'll right back into place. Bueno. The inner hat rim, this part's gonna get dyed last. Just on the off chance that I fucking run out of dye. I don't want it to be because I spent my time making sure the inside of the hat rim that's gonna be covered by a hat band is hidden. Alright. Bueno. Damn, I think that we'll use this whole bottle. Oh, especially when I spill my dye out of my brush. Yeah. Alright. We seem to be mostly wet anyway up here. Giggity. I'm gonna dump the rest on, not the rest of it, just because it's hard to get back into this little bottle. So most, we'll call it most. But it should be easy to dye just because of how much saturation we already have. Oh wow, that's pretty neat to watch. Gotta love it. I may have a little too much water on the top of the hammer. Alright, get that excess dye off of here. Now we can see where the dye pooled. Excess water off to see where the dye pooled. Alright. Go ahead and just continue on. Letting the dye do its thing. Let it seep in. Gotta make sure to give the very edge of the hat a little love. Don't want your rim to be left out and off colored. Nobody likes an off colored rim job. I can just share my jokes with people now. Do you want to like hang out for a minute? Are you on break or something?
No.
Okay. 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 This is looking pretty good. Nice and evenly colored and shaped. Alright, we'll finish this side. I guess let's do this inner half rim. Finish that. Wow, there is not much left in there.
Oh,
I almost went through a whole bottle.
you doing a tutorial?
Kinda.
Okay.
All gone. Just enough. Alright. Okay. Now, there was a couple spots I just needed to roll over a little bit more on the back side of my hat rim, like that guy there. We're good. Good. Here we go. Here's a shallow spot. Just wanting to make sure I have ample room for the wire that's going to be in the rim. So I have room for the wire and me to sew through. Alright, we'll flip it back over. Might as well try to clean that up there. Just because the brush still has a little saturation left in it. Let's just hit it. Ugh. Cling wrap. Cling. Okay. Clean that. Now, let's go ahead. So my head's not completely round. It's more egg-shaped. I'm just going to give it a little stretch this direction. I'm also going to give it some tugging here, just to make that rim a little bit more round. Yeah, it's looking good. And those funny spots that I saw when I was putting my hat together. Oh, there's one. Okay, they're still visible. JK. I'm going to do one last little fold over of the rim here. Just so this stays in place. And when it dries, it'll be nice and flat. Well, hopefully. Leather forming, wet forming is so cool. You can get leather to do whatever you want. Whatever shape you want it to be in, bend and stretch. these little notches are here so the leather can bend more, so it can make a ring like that. Whereas if it was just one piece, I'd have a lot harder time getting it to do that 90-degree bend. Well, nice and clean, no dye. So, now we just gotta wait for it to dry. And then we can move on to assembly. That will be the last stage. In between, I think I'm going to figure out my hat band and reconfigure it. I fucking hate this one. If I can be so curt. Alright, so that concludes today's live stream session of making a hat. I hope you enjoyed it. I always enjoy making stuff. We'll see you next time.